Or you can stay here all night so you can see the bat. The bat gets really close. It flies around and like swoops like right there, and I'm ducking, and then I'll be getting like this right here.
That's why
I'm like, yeah, that's why it's right there, and I'll be like this until I see the bat like land on a wall or something, and then I'll start putting on my coat and my gloves and my goggles and that hat, and I'll go get the bat. But
Do
the
you
bat
only
usually
have-
ends up getting like in those crevices and whatnot. And,
Do you only have
reach
one
in there.
bee suit?
I guess I could reach with my hand, but I can't see it. I look for it and it's just gone. They're good at hiding.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Not a good idea
All
to
right,
reach
let me
into a hole
do
to get a
this real
bat.
Quick.
Yeah.
Copy.
Don't reach into a hole to get a bat.
Who? Me? I always put stuff in the dryer. All right. Yeah, you guys didn't get to meet my wife there. All right, okay. I'm ready. We are ready. Sorry if I was talking over people. I was talking to my wife. I should have muted myself.
Yeah. Do not reach into a hole to pull a bat out.
Okay. Well, I have gloves, so it would have to bite me pretty hard.
Sharp little teeth.
Yeah, but how thick is it?
I don't know, because I don't know if the ones you're talking about eat mosquitoes or if they eat other things.
Just flies.
Yeah. So they probably don't have huge teeth.
Okay.
They might just gum them.
So Kelly, if you're still here, what is this thing with Julian Assange on Saturday? Because I think it's just every month, the beginning of the month, if something's for the online vigil. And this next coming month will be tough for the end of the month, and I will be away. I will be visiting my brother and mother are coming down to visit with the dogs, and we're gonna stop by Casper, Wyoming for a while and fish for a lot of trout, and then we're gonna drive back here and show them our house. So,
And you're going to bring back a 5-gallon pail of pebbles?
why would I want to bring so many pebbles?
My brother did that and found $15,000 worth of gems.
Right. We're gonna be bringing back 50 pounds of pebbles from Casper, Wyoming, just so you know. Yeah, because Snork said his brother did that and found how much $1,000 worth of gems?
About $15,000.
$15,000 worth of gems.
But he had, to be honest, he had 2 buckets.
Okay, he only had 2 buckets, so we can definitely fill up at least twice that.
And he spent a lot of time looking through them.
When he got back, he just picked any random spot.
Yeah, he told his in-laws, when you're up there, get me a bucket of sand and pebbles.
Okay,
And
I'm bringing back the sand and pebbles. You don't have to, Erica. I'll keep the money. Good night. All right.
And then he was reading online about finding gems. But if you've looked on the websites on there's YouTubes to show you how.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, he found some of those, cracked them open and found gems.
Yeah, I'll do it. I mean, it's kind of easy, to kind of sort them out initially. Just find a stone that's like a hardness rating of 6, and if it doesn't scratch, you've got 4 or 5.
It's been so long, I don't remember what he found.
Yeah. Sapphires. I actually prefer sapphires over diamonds. I think they look a lot cooler, a lot prettier. Let's look at gems since we're on this topic.
Yeah, and again, they didn't coordinate where or anything. He wanted to try gold panning.
That would be cool. Like I like emeralds. They look a lot cooler than diamonds. I mean, they got the color to it.
You have
Sapphire. Um,
if you look online, it can even tell you what to expect for where you're at.
oh, really? Like gemstones in Columbus, Nebraska. I don't think there's gonna be much because we are just flat out flat.
Well, you might be surprised.
Gemstone painting. Ooh, fossils. I guess we could find fossils. Oh, if I go west in Nebraska.
You're not far from Colorado. You're not far from.
Yeah. Mammoth fossils. We could find mammoths over here.
Yeah. So the railroad, not understanding that some things were going to be valuable in the future, dug out some really expensive gems and used them for ballast rocks and railroad tracks in the 1800s in Illinois. So you can find some really old railroad track beds. Sometimes you can find some.
There's a lot of railroads here.
Actually, you are the Union Pacific line. You'll see two tracks beside each other.
Yeah.
That's the main line in the United States.
Oh, okay. Where was I saying I was going in?
Casper?
Casper, yeah. Sorry, my mind's just not here today. Prospecting. Let's do that one, 2009. Wow, they gold deposits. There you go.
Yeah, you start taking that, people are going to shoot you.
Well, then I better bring my guns.
Yeah. There's jades.
Yeah. Iolite gemstones.
Oh, you want iolite if you can find it.
Yeah.
Iolite, it's one color if it's facing the sun, another if it's perpendicular to the sun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, it's the gemstone that's responsible for Western world. It enabled the Vikings to attack in the fog, and so they could go out to sea and still navigate even in a fog, and then attack.
Huh, okay. Although it says has low specific gravity, so panning streams for this gem is not possible.
Well, if you see it, you'll know it. Yeah. It'll look either that color or like a yellow.
Isn't there a specific gemstone that's called that? I forgot what it's called. I think I gave one of my ex-girlfriends one of these types of stones. And it's expensive when you're not making a lot of money buying a gemstone for a girlfriend. So, for anyone that has a girlfriend, buy stuff that you can share the experience with. Because when you're no longer boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, you just lost out on a lot of money and absolutely no experience. Maybe we'll do like a talk about that one night. Tanzanite, I think. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Like it basically has like a purplish color and a bluish color depending on the light that enters it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, I was really big into gemstones and rocks, and not just gemstones, but just like for some reason, if I really love looking at this stuff, like looking at different rocks, looking at different stones, looking at different gems, and if I find them, the only thing is just boring. It's fascinating when you're going out looking for them and trying to find them, and just the applications that you can use for them. And then if you're into like making stuff out of them, like making ore or just maybe
a lot of the ones that are expensive, you want to look for them at night hopefully not when they're where the rattlesnakes are, but a lot of the expensive ones have unusual light properties. Like the iolite has the property being dichroic, the two colors. Some gemstones do a lot of funny tricks at night when you use ultraviolet. And there's 2 frequencies of ultraviolet they might react to.
Okay. So I need to bring my ultraviolet flashlight with me, is what you're saying, and go out at
so
night.
you'll know if
wearing cowboy boots for the rattlesnakes.
Yeah, you'll also know if any panthers have been pissing in the area.
Okay. All right. For some reason, just so you guys know, I'm not gonna go out there by myself. So if I'm stung by a rattlesnake or killed by a panther, it was the deep state. It wasn't.
It's cougars up there.
Oh, cougars. Well, I could deal with cougars. You know, they're like 60, 70-year-old women, right?
Yeah.
I could deal with them. All right. What I wanted to show earlier. Again, this was Outer Light Ed talking about it. But I think I'm just gonna look up and show people on. Let's do a search. And Fidel Castro. All right, fact check and snubs. And no, let's not do that. Let's just look at the images. Let's let people decide for themselves. I mean, if you had to pick, this is actually Justin Trudeau's father. Although I can see similarities with the hair. I mean, you're going to share facial features between the mother and father. But I guess the latest is, you know, the nose looks a lot more like Fidel Castro's than his father's. The eyebrows, well, the eyebrows are wonky with Trudeau. I don't know. I don't know why. The reason why it came up for a lot is because of his mother is pretty promiscuous back in the 70s, and I'll just go ahead and show the dang snippet from.
You know, we can't rule out. I mean, you know, the theories of the cross-dressing the other night. We can't rule out that Fidel Castro was his mother.
Oh, I think you're more
eternal thing.
I think you're more of a you're deeper in the rabbit hole than me, Snork.
That's why the Secret Service or CIA couldn't kill him by making his beard fall out. It's just glued on.
Okay. All right. So here we go.
As we jump into story number 2 here, and this is a long-standing conspiracy here with Fidel Castro and Justin Trudeau. I thought I'd just go into this, maybe to, you know, not cover those darkest things all the time, but something a bit still interesting that is still a conspiracy. Justin Trudeau and Fidel Castro. So why is this a conspiracy? Well, rumors have been circulating for a long time that Justin Trudeau might be, and not joking, the illegitimate child of Fidel Castro. Why is that, and what is the conspiracy? Well, his mother, as you can see here, is meeting with Fidel Castro. Remember that Justin Trudeau's father was, you know, a prime minister. And here he is here. This is apparently Justin Trudeau's father. On the right there is Justin Trudeau's mother, and you can see there's a very close relationship, it would seem, with Fidel Castro. Now, in her own words here, it states that here this is Margaret Trudeau, nearly 3 decades younger than her husband at the time, made tabloid headlines in the 1970s for dancing the nights away at New York discos such as Studio 54, while her husband was busy with affairs of state in Ottawa. So, sorry, I might be mistaken about that. He wasn't Prime Minister there. I think he was just a diplomat. I'm not sure. She infamously had, and this is the word here, I had to look this up, I'd never heard about it before. This is what you call, that word translates to having affairs with celebrities. So she infamously had affairs with celebrities such as Ryan O'Neal, Jack Nicholson. And she also said in articles that she regrets not having more affairs, including Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones. So that's just to show that she was very promiscuous, and this was the 1970s, so just bolstering the argument that maybe she had a relationship there with Fidel Castro. Why do people say that? Well, here is, because of the time period, but here is Fidel Castro. Here, as you can see on the far right, which is a bit of irony considering he's on the far left, I guess, in real life. Here is his said-to-be father there, Justin Trudeau's father there on the far left, and that is his father. Now here is his mother is said to be the love child of Fidel Castro. But look, I'm only saying this, I know how crazy this sounds, but look at the face. When I've seen this, I go, and they look the same. That's Fidel Castro. That's Justin Trudeau. That is Justin Trudeau. Here's Fidel Castro. And the same nose here. You can see it there. There's Fidel Castro. There's Justin Trudeau.
Oh, that was Castro when he was younger. I didn't know that.
Interesting conspiracy, I think. There are some kind of facial, the facial architectures here are similar, more similar to Fidel Castro than they are to his actual is said to be father. I mean, they don't even look similar. So this has made it all the way to the Sun and all kinds of places, of course, was big headlines.
Well, anyways, yeah, when I was looking at the pictures, I was wrong. That was all him and Fidel Castro. Yeah, he looks a lot more like Fidel Castro than his supposed father. I wouldn't be surprised of it being a little bit illegitimate child of Fidel Castro.
Well, it's plausible.
Yeah.
You have to say that much. It's plausible.
Do you think he would take a blood test or DNA test and show it to the public? I would think he wouldn't. And would that, but
did Ronan Farrow do?
I don't know. But would that make a real difference at all? Really? If people found out that he was Fidel Castro's illegitimate son?
He's still it's still yet being a leader in his family history.
Yeah.
It's nothing that Trudeau did.
Yeah.
Or Trudeau. It's a fact. And if that's what it is, then it really comes down to the Canadians. Instead of asking about his birth circumstances, are they happy with him as a prime minister?
Yeah.
And think of people more as how they're doing their work rather than
who their parents were.
Yeah.
Or what their parents did. Yeah.
Except for Jenna and Barbara Bush. We can't have those.
Oh my goodness. Have you noticed that all our presidents lately, they all have daughters, not really any sons? Isn't that a little weird? I mean, you don't think about it. It just came up to me. It's like, huh. None of our presidents these last couple of times have any sons. They've all had just daughters.
Well, there's another conspiracy.
Yeah.
Chelsea's not Bill's daughter.
Well, that too.
But also there has been claims that there is a Bill Clinton son, and the pictures did show a very close likeness.
Yeah.
And he is not recognized as being a child. No DNA test. And it seems like there should be plenty of material for them to test.
Hey, just bring back that dress that what's her name was wearing.
Was that tested already?
I don't know. If they ever did DNA test on it, I think they might have.
Yeah, so it'd be this should be an easy step now.
Oh yeah, there we go. I wonder if he ever the bastard son of Bill Clinton. Hey, bastards are cool now, right? You know, Game of Thrones. So hey, I could say bastard. I could also say son of a bitch. No. That would be Hillary Clinton's son. If she had a son.
Prior to conquering England, William the Conqueror's name was William the Bastard.
Okay.
He kind of changed that.
Yeah.
In fact, he's the one that gave it a bad name.
Really?
Yeah. He was about 6'8".
That's pretty tall for way back then. I mean, that's pretty tall now.
He was large, powerful, and he could just wade into a group with a sword and just slaughter people wholesale. And
all people need to do is just trip him up in that big armor.
Yeah, he was passed over being set as king, and so he was upset about it. So he went over and just took over England. And what he when it first landed, he would conquer a village. People that survived, he would cut their arms off, castrate them, and blind them, and then walk them up to the... Huh? I don't know what order. But then he would walk them into the next town to talk them, or to have them tell them what happens if they don't surrender before he gets there. And if they didn't surrender, he had more examples for the next town. And pretty soon he was able to just have people just throw down their weapons.
Fear tactic seems to work.
Psychop.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we don't do any psychops. That's just conspiracy theory stuff, Snork. Come on.
Yeah. Yep. Plant.
It's funny how so many people just get turned off with the conspiracy theories, psychops, and all this other stuff. And like, clearly we have those in existence, and not just hundreds of years ago. I mean, we're talking about a few years and even some decades. But it's frowned upon to talk about it.
Oh, World War II had a whole bunch of good ones, like the plywood tanks. Balloon tanks, hot plywood tanks, all kinds of stuff they did prior to D-Day. They lined all of the balloon tanks up somewhere, inflated them overnight. Sun comes up so that they knew that observation planes would see all these tanks lined up and report that we're getting ready to go north, and it worked.
Yeah.
And
I think it's sarcasm night for Stevie.
Oh, I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah. It sucks. But I mean, that's the military strategy. But of course, it seems like we've kind of entered this military type of country system that's being applied to our own citizens now.
Can I rephrase Stevie's comment?
No.
Our government would never harm rich civilians.
That too. Yeah, I mean, we got military police now. We've got propaganda that the government can do to its own citizens and be perfectly legal. You can't be sued. It's illegal to boycott Israel. Very, very, I don't know if that's militaristic, but I figured I'd just throw that in there just because. Do we boycott? Do we make it illegal to boycott any other country? Can we boycott Saudi Arabia? Would they start making that illegal? I mean, I don't think Saudi Arabia exports anything anyways, except for body bags. But
Saudi Arabia won't be exporting anything very soon.
Why is that?
They will be the first country to run dry.
Oh, okay. Do they have a backup plan? Backup goods?
They've just started scrambling for backup plan. They're trying to buy solar industries. They're trying to buy industries outside of Saudi Arabia, and they're trying to move industries into Saudi Arabia. Dubai is doing that as well. They're trying to move all kinds of industry and make Dubai be a global trading place.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. They're in a freaking desert. If they don't invest in solar, they'd be idiots. I mean, if I was living in a desert, solar would be really good.
When they didn't want people to buy solar and quit using fuel, they were very anti-solar.
Yeah. But now that they're running out, they're like, solar, everyone. It's solar time.
Well, I mean, go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to say, if Ebon was in the desert, it would be shocked to see a North Korean in a desert.
Well, there's a whole bunch of deserts in North Korea. You didn't know that?
Yeah, deserts of dead people.
No, really. There's a big desert in North Korea, but they just spray paint it green so it looks very fertile. I'm just kidding.
I know. Just like seeing a North Korean in Saudi Arabia.
Just like saying like North Korea is gonna denuclearize.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to not go for it.
I don't know. I mean, it was so devastating what Saudi Arabia did to us in the 70s. I say as soon as their oil runs out, cut off their food supply. Let them start paying for it.
What about 2001? I mean, that was also pretty devastating, right?
Yeah, but that was our fault.
You mean that was our doing? Okay. Now, all right. We need like a red sirens, like dee. It's like Snork's gone down the rabbit hole.
Oh.
Way too deep. No, that's kidding. I agree with you. I think the same.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's pretty sad.
No matter what caused it, what technologies were used, and nothing. All that matters is the attack did occur, and it couldn't have occurred without Cheney's stand down order.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, he did not actually have the authority to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Bush had given no indication that he was incapacitated, and he was not out of contact.
I don't know. He was reading a children's book upside down to a classroom, and when he was told, what was going on, he had that look. For however many minutes was it? 13, 15 minutes? It's funny because it's so bad. Our leaders are so incompetent or they're culpable. I don't know which is worse.
Yeah, and we didn't have a proper investigation.
Oh, we did have a proper investigation. Didn't you know? Well, at least an official investigation. Maybe it wasn't proper, but they do say that they had an official investigation.
Yeah,
and our official investigations are pretty incompetent too, or culpable. You know, this is starting to depress me.
Too bad you're not coming out to the Jimmy Dore show in July.
I would love to. It's just tough. Money is short on supply and time, and
I understand.
Family.
Even here, I'm compared to you, I'm probably 2/3 closer.
Oh, that's tough.
You know, it's a drive for me.
Yeah.
I can drive home afterwards.
I mean, I think it's what, 6.5, 7 hours maybe from where you're at?
I'm showing 6 hours.
Oh, 6 hours? Okay. Yeah, I think for me, it'd be 10 or 11 full hours or more.
But I normally wake up late. So
okay.
I could wake up, drive there, see the show, drive home, and it would still be pretty much a normal day for me.
Oh. Yeah. Let's see. It would take me driving. Actually, it's not bad. 9 hours, 15 minutes to drive there.
That's only 3 hours more than it takes me.
Yeah.
I figured the worst part of it is going to be finding a parking spot.
Actually, you know, that's without traffic. We're going to hit traffic on the way to Chicago, I'm sure.
I was actually considering driving to Elburn, Illinois, and taking the transit in.
Yeah. Stevie, that link. What? Oh, okay. Oh, McDonald's. Stevie, you should apply to Walmart instead. I hear it's really, really good place to work. Walmart.
You can get on food stamps.
I know. I mean, what other job can you gain access to food stamps while working?
And you can be a part of their employee food drive.
And you could say that you're supporting Hillary because Hillary Clinton used to be board of directors. You could say, hey, I'm here. Actually, what you could do is say, hey, Hillary Clinton said I should work here, so can you get me a job? And they'd be like, oh, yeah, all right. You can be a manager working for $14,000 a year salary. Gosh, that would be so lame. 14th, I don't know how much managers make at Walmart, but I can't imagine it's that much. Ah, goodness. All right, let's depressing topic night tonight. Let's talk about something like good.
I'm in the middle of a survey, and I was like, it's on antipsychotics and antidepressants, and I'm like, yeah, this won't take long, and I've been at it for an hour and a half. Fucking.
Okay, surveys are also depressing. All right, what else is depressing?
Is there a question on there? Do you feel that this quiz is taking an extra long time?
I've actually written that in. Do you have any suggestions on how to reduce medication? And it's like, yeah, take this survey. And each time you go to a new page, take your medication because it's definitely time to take it again.
Uh-oh, someone's going to mention live chat. You're only on here for 15 minutes, Dave.
Oh, really?
I think they time you.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wanted to say real quick before they shut me off, I will be in Boston with Deb Della Piana at their Julian Assange rally Sunday at noon. I hope to, if they don't shut my phone or my Kindle or whatever, I'm going to film it off because I don't have a camera yet.
You should wear an NRA hat. It's very popular there.
I swear I'm going to bring my Bernie Sanders shirt. I really am.
I don't know which is worse for people to see. Someone wearing an NRA hat or a Bernie Sanders shirt.
Well, I have a Bernie Sanders shirt and a MAGA hat, so it's
rocking out.
Off.
That was one of the. Remember those old punk, where Bernie Sanders was like the punk from the TYT. You had to spend a certain amount of money. I have one of those damn things, so I'm going to be like, "This is what I used to be," and like throw it in a freaking fire, like the disco sucks, or whatever. But
when is that? When are you in Boston? When is that rally going on?
That is noon this coming Sunday.
Dang it, I might miss it. Do you know how many people are going to be attending the rally?
A whole few. I mean, from what I've heard, it's not going to be that big of a.
Do you think you could try to get the guy Dr. Shiva to go to the rally and get people to go?
I can see if Fly and I can at least let him know. Maybe we can get in a gazebo and like 5,000 people can freaking rush us.
I mean, I can contact him for you and see if.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I do that.
I'll get him the information. I have no problem with that.
Okay. Because I mean that's I don't know.
I know how popular he is.
Yeah, I mean he's a pretty big advocate of free speech and whatnot, but I don't know right now if he would do that. But who knows? It could garner more attention too.
Is he in the middle of a race still?
Yeah, he's still going up against Elizabeth Warren.
I didn't know if the primary was over because there are a lot of primaries.
He's an independent now, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to deal with being the Democratic or Republican nominee.
Well, you know, if he's fighting for truth, you know that sure as hell ain't going to get any endorsements from anybody.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's something good. That could bring a lot more people to the rally as well, just because you know, you won't see Elizabeth Warren out there, and you probably won't see the Republican candidate running out there for the rally, but Dr. Shiva, he probably would, and because that would also garner more attention.
Right.
And he could also say, hey, we don't see Elizabeth Warren, we don't see the Republican candidate. I guess they don't really care about free speech and whatnot. Apparently,
you know, it's possible that I would be speaking, so you know how much of a friggin' firestorm this thing is creating. If I'm going to be a guest speaker, there are not that many people there. I mean, I know I have an official title and everything, but I'm like, I don't think there are going to be that many politicians speaking up for Julian Assange.
No, it's not political.
It's not politically correct at all.
Even Trump won't do it right now.
Right.
And he goes, I love WikiLeaks. I guess he...
Well, he loves WikiLeaks right now because all the data's slamming Hillary. But as soon as like a few years pass and they catch up to all his nonsense, then he's going to be like, So it takes a while. It takes a while for people to read the information. But then by that point, they're going to be like, well, the deep state has infiltrated Trump's emails, and it's fake. It's fake WikiLeaks.
I'm wondering also if there's maybe stuff in there for Trump. If they see stuff for Trump, if they're just kind of waiting to see if Trump does anything to help support him, or then if not, then they'll release something.
I don't think they're that selective. You really think they're political like that? I thought they would just be like, look, this is it. You really think that they would hold back like that?
I don't know. I was thinking the same way as you, but I mean, if they're going to release it anyways, plus it's also leverage. Like, for example, you hear even Suzie Dawson talking about Dead Man Switch, right? So
yeah.
So if something actually happens and it goes off and no one's alive to set it on again, then a whole bunch of stuff gets released that hasn't been. So what is that stuff that hasn't been released?
I mean, I'm hearing again. I just went to a Babylon town hall meeting. I know you love that name, so I didn't name the goddamn town. But there was somebody. He was talking about all that stuff, Illuminati and Seth Rich and all that.
Oh, awesome.
He was like, there's who was it? There's a YouTube one. I didn't even hear of these guys before. American Intelligent Media, and they basically threw out the theory that McCabe hired or basically set free three MS-13 to kill Seth Rich, which I've heard before. I mean, it's a plausible theory, I would imagine.
I'll take a look at their stuff.
Yeah, they're pretty pro-Trump right now.
Yeah, it looks
it's
like it.
Yay, North Korea and Trump and blah blah blah, and I mean, my thing with all this stuff that Trump's doing now. Let's see after the midterms if he's going to continue to do earth-shattering shit, like meet with world leaders to, let's see if the deal falls through or something.
Yeah.
So just seems that the really cool stuff that people do is right before an election. So, puppies for everybody, and then then they take them back to the pound after the election is over.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot lately, where I've been doing the job search.
Right.
And I'm like, I remember all these jobs. I remember when Joe Manchin put lead and arsenic in our water because jobs. Can I cash that in yet? Like, where do I go? I've got the lead and the arsenic. Now, where's the jobs? He's steering me in the right direction.
You're basically, we're going to build a sacrificial volcano in the middle of Long Island. It'll create jobs. Yeah, because you're going
to. People sign up for that shit too. They don't care how dangerous it is to their own health,
right,
or their families, or their communities. Just fuck it. I need a paycheck, man. Like, that's where we're at.
Fucking nuclear power plant, and I'm like, really?
I mean, they're probably taking baths in like water shipped over from Hawaii or something like that.
Dude, they take their baths like Scrooge McDuck. They just got that big old pond of gold coins. They just dip.
Yeah.
Off a bit.
I just imagine these guys like President Scrooge. They have freaking cans of Perrier, and it's like they're getting ready. They're stocking up their canned air when the freaking atmosphere goes out.
All right. Can you imagine? Okay, being a billionaire. Let's say you're a billionaire.
All right, hold on.
Okay, and say, remember that movie, Webster's? Is it Webster's Millions or?
It's I know what you're talking about.
He had to spend like
Brewster's
Millions.
Yeah,
he had to
you got to
spend
spend $70 million in a month or something like that.
So let's say they're pretty old. They might live 10 years. Let's say 20 years. They could live 20 years. But say they want to spend at least $1 billion because they've got another billion, whatever. How much money would that be a day? If you had 1 billion, you had 20 years, and you just want to spend $1 billion over the course of those 20 years. All right.
Well, are you talking about you can't make any money? Because
you already say you already have like $2.4 million, and you're going to keep accruing anyway. But heck, 20 years, I just want to spend $1 billion before my 20 years is up because I can. How much would that be a day?
Crazy shit like a merry-go-round in space or fucking I mean, but I know.
So that would be
1 billion.
A million
days.
Hold on. That's a lot more zeros than that there's gonna be.
You don't make me do fucking math.
See, he said pretend you're a billionaire, so I just quit listening after that because I don't give a shit what you poor people have.
Exactly.
Fuck y'all, I'm rich.
Fuck
I'm
man.
an island.
What do I need a fucking calculator for? Shit.
So that's 50 million a year divided by 365. You would have to spend $136,000, $986 a day. So basically $137,000 a day in order to spend $1 billion within 20 years.
That would be easy to do. I mean, just go to GoFundMe. You can pick one of those a day. Like surgery or cancer therapy or something. You could spend that easy. Fix world hunger. There you go. There's a good chunk of change right there.
Remember that fucking crazy Bill the Cat and fucking Opus from Bloom County?
What?
Where they were just buying all that shit from Ronco. That was like the Stevie, you're too damn young. That cartoon back in the 80s where these guys were just buying all sorts of wacky shit, like the left-hand potato peeler or whatever the fuck for like $50. You just get all sorts of Ronco shit. And
wasn't that big back in the 70s, like the Tupperware thing? Like you just had ridiculous shit. You'll never ever use.
The the massage chair made out of pennies or whatever.
So
you know.
that's almost trying to spend $1 million in a week. So basically, you have to try to spend about $1 million in a week.
Yeah, but isn't it part of the rules of Holster's Millions that he wasn't allowed to give it away to charity? He actually had to spend it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was part of it.
oh,
And
that's a big difference.
and you couldn't invest it.
Yes.
You could not invest it.
You're just trying to enjoy life. You know, I mean, even if you bought a whole bunch of coke and hookers in a day, you'd still have like probably like $120,000 that day to spend more.
Stevie, hook me up.
Yes.
Hook me up with those West Virginia, those high-priced West Virginia hookers.
Oh no.
Oh my God, Las Vegas. There was a pimp who just got the nomination for Republican state assembly or something. I gotta find that damn article.
Oh, please find that. I'm so interested already.
Oh my God, I was like, I'm surprised I didn't tweet that to you, Stevie. I know I tweeted it to the fucking world.
Well, you might have. I never checked Twitter like I should.
Yeah, well, you're too goddamn rich now. You fucking elite bitch.
I had people to do that for me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
all right.
We should get a bell. So you have someone come up and, what would you like, sir? They have to have that British accent. A British butler. Oh man.
Make the British butler wear like a tutu and a coconut bra like for James. Just for James. Why not?
Only starting 2024. I mean, I'm eagerly awaiting 2024.
Oh, you know what? We got to get a coconut bra collection for the man. He's got to wear like one a day. All right, let me see.
What size would fit?
Oh,
you think he's like AA?
I don't care. Does it matter? Get the ones too small, too big. Well, have fun with it. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's got huge man breasts. Maybe it's going to have to be like double D's.
Oh, here we go. All right. Da, 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 da. Oh, damn it. What did I do? Freaking.
It's falling down.
Brilliant.
I wonder how net neutrality is going to affect this.
Brewster's Millions.
I feel like we're very low on the totem pole, so they may not even care. It's like, it would probably just cost more time and effort to try to stop for these idiots.
I posted it in Zoom chat and in the YouTube chat for everybody. Pimps for everybody.
I don't know, man. If he's got a solid plan on how to get us back on track,
I mean, it's a perfect politician. A freaking
maybe
a manager of whores.
I can't judge him too much for making money when I'm applying for Walmart and McDonald's. So sometimes you just gotta get that paycheck somehow.
Maybe it's everybody has to get a breast implant and some procedures done.
One breast implant, just one.
I can see that. I can totally see that. We'll add breast implants to our medical plan and free breast implants for all.
Penis enlargement,
testicle realignment.
Is that a thing?
Actually, it is.
I don't know.
It is.
Oh Lord.
Is that kind of like the Asian women that get their eyes widened? It's like
they get the Koreans. Koreans are huge. South Koreans are huge into plastic surgery, but they like the folds in their eye. That's something they want, and I think they do enlarge it, so it's not.
Yeah, they kind of look like Pokemon. Some of them. It's
let me see.
No, I knew somebody was all twisted up. He had to go to the emergency room and get his the testicles realigned.
That should be a show. That should be a show. Twisted up.
All right, so I'm going to share.
You can go to 4chan for that.
So you can see the plastic surgery differences.
Rule 34, brother.
Some of those are pretty extreme.
Yeah.
I just don't get that. Like, I just don't get it. Like, she
Wait,
had
that's the
way
same
more
girl?
than her eyes done.
Yeah, she got her chin done, and
Remember that one story? I mean, I think they debunked it or something.
Jawline.
It's like a guy married into this very beautiful woman, but that beautiful woman had plastic surgery and they had ugly kids. It's like, hey, what happened?
Chinese woman. She was a model, and that literally destroyed her modeling career.
Yeah, I think, Ryan, you might have been the one that set me straight on that one, because I actually cited that one time because I thought it was true, but...
No, it's not. It ruined it. It ruined her. It ruined her modeling career.
Why would that ruin her modeling career? I mean, so many models go in and get work and stuff done anyway. So like,
it was in Taiwan.
Well, yeah, she became a model. And she started wearing sweatpants and sweat shirts.
Like,
hoodies.
What model is actually natural? Can you point to a model that's like really actually like, oh, I just look like this when I wake up? Right. No, they all do artificial shit to their bodies.
So who's 1346 or 346 area code?
Hey, Cheryl.
Hi, my name.
No, it's not Cheryl.
My name's James. My name is James Nam. I'm calling in because you guys are talking about Koreans. I am myself a Korean. Are you Korean there, Mr. Ebon?
Yeah, my parents are Korean.
Yeah, my parents. Actually, my dad's North Korean and my mom's Chinese, and they couldn't get along, you know. And man, I hear what you're talking about, man. I can't believe all our brothers and sisters are getting this eye surgery. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, remember that guy who got sued because or he sued his wife because his kids came out ugly?
Yep, we just saw that.
Would you guys think about doing that? I mean, Jesus. You guys ever seen my show?
No, we haven't.
I have a show on YouTube. It's called the Jimmer Nation, the Jimmernam Show, and Jimmer Nam. I act like I'm Howard Stern, and I do stuff on the air, and I even have like the fist and everything. What do you think about that?
Sounds really cool.
Post us the link, man. Post the link.
Post the link.
Yeah, man, we'll totally check you out.
I mean, I'll post a link there, man, but I don't know how I post it. I'm just calling in. I mean, I'm in the chat, and it's Jimmernam. Everybody knows Jimmer. It's JIMMERNAM.
How do you say that? How do you say that in Korean?
I don't know. I call it juke. And I have this awesome show, and I get retards on there, and I try to be like Howard Stern. You know how he makes fun of his whack packers, and I try to do that, but I'm always on Klonopin because I have depression issues, and I'm on like antidepressants tonight, but I still drink wine because I want to get that extra kick when I'm on my Klonopin. You got anybody here on Klonopin?
No.
Well, I had a head injury when I was like 30 years old. My brain started bleeding, and so they gave me the Klonopin. I was in a mental institution for like a whole year.
Damn.
Sorry. Yeah, I hate it when that happens. I hate it when that happens.
I think that this YouTube show that I've created, this community of people with head injuries like me, is really going to help me with my mental depression.
It will. I think so. I mean,
yeah, this is great, man. We need to fight the power. I live in California, and of course, it's a nanny state, and it's taking care of me because my dad can't stand me anymore. You know how it is, Ebon.
Did they?
Korean men and their sons, they put a lot of pressure on that guy, right?
They're not going to sue you to get you out of the house, are they? Just like that guy a couple of days ago?
No, they are taking care of my kids because I did birth 2 kids, and they were taken away from me. Now they're coming back, and I'm making my parents take care of them. But I got to be ashamed. I think my dad might commit suicide just out of the shame of me being his son, Koreans take that kind of stuff seriously. Ebon, that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
He used to beat the crap out of me with a belt. It was really, really, really hard for me.
Oh,
you have a lot of
eating there.
Do you have a lot of Korean pizza joints there?
Oh man, I like sashimi. I like sashimi, and I also like occasional kimchi.
What about dog? Do you like dog?
No. Well, I had a dog. I tell people it ran away, but I really ate it. But it was a nice poodle. You ever had poodle? You gotta boil that. You really gotta boil that poodle.
I stepped in a poodle once.
They're tough meat. That's what I say. They're tough meat.
What the hell?
All right. It's been cool talking to you guys.
All right,
I'm going to go get my Klonopin right now.
Actually, that got me out of this depressive talk.
It really did.
Okay, that troll was brought to you by, I think, Unbleached, but I don't know. But that was great.
And Snicker bars.
He kind of reminded me a little bit of what's his name? He used to come on here all the time. The one that used to date the atheist. What's his name? Oh, Perry Ramsey. Is that his name?
Really? Winkle?
The way that he did his voice. The way he did his voice, the voice crack. It totally reminded me of him.
Winkle Bro?
Yeah, Winkle Bro. I can't believe I forgot his name. Yeah, Winkle Bro.
But I
don't think it's him, but it just reminded me of him.
He doesn't talk that fast.
No. I don't think it was him.
The sound reminded me more of
voices, but I don't know. He did say it was from California.
I think he's from California.
I'm allowed to follow. Now you're following. You understand?
Special ed. Can you hear it? Is it going?
Yeah, it was going.
You have the sound turned off.
Well, it is special ed after all.
Oh.
I want to buy the record. Yay!
Yay!
Boom, 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 boom. Yay!
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. I'm sorry.
It's a song. Yay!
Okay, I'm not sure what that.
It's a song. It goes boom, 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 boom.
Okay, Rod called it.
It goes. He goes for about 3 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. Yay! Boom, 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 boom. Yay! And it changes nearly every time he does it. And the guy's like, God, I don't understand. I don't know what song it is. Do you know what song it is? Yeah, it goes boom, 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 boom. Yay!
Who the hell were those guys? Not the Nasty Boys? Were those the Nasty Boys?
The Jerky Boys.
Yeah.
The Jerky Boys. Thank you. Same fucking thing.
Adam something. He did one too, right?
Sandler?
No, not Sandler. From the cartoon drawn this way or something.
I need a
Drawn Together.
Drawn Together, and he would do like pranks to mass callers, junk callers. They'd call him, or he would call somebody's support line and complain. He had Wanda Sykes on there too.
Huh.
She'd play some of the calls.
This last half hour brought some tears to my eye in a good way. All right. I have the sudden urge to go pee.
That doesn't attract bats, does it?
I don't think so.
I think that dude's voice attracts bats. Jesus, I had to take the damn earphones off.
You know the hardest part of prank calling?
130, yeah.
The hardest part of prank calling, in my opinion, is trying not to laugh.
Right.
And,
me and my cousin tried to prank call somebody once back in high school. It was this little old lady, and we ended up actually having a full-blown conversation with this woman because it was so hard. You just could not, like, prank this woman. She got us good.
Officer, can I help you?
Hi, who's this?
This is...
Yeah, this is Ed.
Yes, Ed?
Yeah, what time is...
It's 1:30.
1:30? Yay! It's time to make the donuts.
Thank you, sir.
How much are the strawberry donuts?
69 cents.
Yay! It's time to make the donuts.
Thank you.
How much for the vanilla donuts?
Same price, sir. 69 cents.
Yay! It's time to make the donuts.
It is definitely time to make the donuts.
How much are the crawlers?
Same price, sir. 69 cents.
Yay! It's time.
It just stopped. Okay.
Okay. Adam Carolla.
Uh-oh.
Was what I'm thinking out, and he was Crank Yankers.
Right. Yeah.
But he played a pig on Drawn Together.
So,
and I can't order pizza with sausage anymore.
in the same vein of that whole thing, that was just when I went to the town hall meeting today, they were like, all right, we're going to now table resolutions. And they went from 444 to 499. Motion to table resolution 444. So motion. Do you motion? Second motion? Second motion. 445. And they just did that for like 15 minutes. And I have it all on tape. It's glorious. It's just like, what the hell? Why don't you just go, table motions 444 through 499? What, they want to say that they had a half-hour meeting? Like 20 minutes of it was that. I wish they would have gone, second the motion, yay! Like every time. That would have added another
say
10
like
minutes.
special ed. Yay!
Yay! Second the motion, yay!
Boy. We're bad tonight.
When are we good?
I guess that's true too. I guess we're pretty neutral, huh? Hey, we're independent.
Fight the power.
Hey, you're green. You can't say you're independent anymore. I'm sorry.
Yes, I can.
No, you're gonna have to change your name to Green Outsider.
I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. You know why? Because I'm independent.
But you're part of the Green Party. You can't be an independent. I'm sorry. I'm changing your name to Green Outsider.
I'd say you could be the Jolly Green Giant, but I think that's already gone to James. So
Green Outsider here.
You really think that that the Green Party are insiders?
No, outsider. That's why you're Green Outsider.
You're a jackass. I'm still an independent. They don't listen to me anyway. I'm still independent. Fuck it.
Yeah. I don't think they listen to anybody.
Yeah, I think.
Or they do. They're like, I don't understand.
I don't know. I mean, hopefully we'll get some stuff done. We'll see. Independent insider.
I think if there's anything that I would say is just get the Alfonso and the other guy from California. Why am I forgetting his name?
Oh, what's his face? I know who you're talking about.
Kenneth Mejia.
Kenneth Mejia, yeah.
Have them talk to other Green candidates that run and tell them their success story.
It doesn't matter. They get in, that's it. We're good. We're good. The country's good. Yes. Freak. I mean, I get your point. Yay, we got one. Yeah. Just make sure that those two candidates don't get on the same goddamn flight from California to New York.
Do not carpool. Whatever you do.
Carpool. Whatever you do. Don't carpool with Sam Ronan, for God's sake.
Yeah. Oh, that's so bad that we have to say things like this.
Has he been bailed yet?
Yes, he's out.
He's out.
And
he had 2 of the 3 charges dropped.
Yeah. What was the charge that actually stuck?
The felony.
Of course.
Yeah.
What was the original charge?
The 3 charges?
No, what was the charge he arrested or resisted?
What's coming out is apparently there was a car that tried to run him off the road, and he got pissed off at the car and like flipped him off. So the cop saw that, and they followed him because of road rage. And he went to his house, and they said that he led them on a medium speed car chase or some bullshit, or they like had their sirens on and stuff and followed him to his house, and that's why they did what they did. That's the story I'm hearing now. But where's the other guy? If it's a road rage incident, road rage involves 2 people, I would imagine, at least, or two drivers.
So
the other car.
So the 2 charges that were dropped were misdemeanors. Fail to comply with order or signal of police. The other one was obstructing official business. The one that's
the
still
obstructing
there,
justice is still there.
Yeah, the one that's still there is obstructing justice, and it looks like that's a felony of the 5th degree.
I know he's still looking, or he was looking for a lawyer. So, anyone that wants to defend Sam Ronan, give him a call.
Yeah, this is where we need Amy.
Oh yeah,
she's in New York.
Wait. I heard Amy was a lawyer, but you can't say her profession because you might get in trouble if they know what she does. Woo! All right. I got that out of my system.
I think she was at some point a defense lawyer as well as a prosecutor and a constitutional lawyer. So I'm sure it's within her field.
I could just see her running in court going, "That's wrong. Okay, gotta go."
I watched the footage with Ebon last night, and I struggled to see how that cop could even see what he was doing. It was at night, lights on. Tell me, when you're driving at night and you've got traffic coming on from the other direction, you can actually see past the headlights.
Right. Well, the other thing is, people were saying that was partial video. What it looks like happened is that Sam saw them in the back, got his camera ready. As soon as he walked out, he started filming.
Mm-hmm.
From the second he got out of the car, nobody identified themselves as a police officer. No one. So you're to assume that somebody with a car with flashing lights is a cop, and a freaking porn, police uniform. That thing looks so damn fake. That bright blue with the freaking plastic badge on. He looked like a rent-a-cop. Seriously. So you're just supposed to take his word for it that he's a cop because he has a badge on and a blue shirt.
And he has a car with lights.
And he has a car with lights.
Mm-hmm.
And when you ask for the badge number, they're like, "Oh, we don't have time for that."
No, there's always time.
Ain't nobody got
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Was this before or after the taco incident? Where
the taco incident.
Yeah, so a woman had a cop jump into her car and start going through her purse.
Oh God!
So she offered to get him a taco. Got out and asked for the other people at the restaurant to call 911 and verify that he was a real cop, and he wasn't.
Right.
Oh.
I assumed that this wasn't a Taco Bell taco he was asking for. I assumed that was a euphemism.
No, it was he was
asking for oral sex or whatever.
No. I mean, it was It was a.
He actually wanted a taco.
No, he wanted to search the car.
Oh.
But they were at a mobile taco place. Like it was a van.
Oh, like a truck or something?
Yeah. And so she went out to somebody else in line. Apparently it was a good one to eat. But I've seen people line up to them. There are some that people like.
I don't know, man. If I was a cop, I could probably be bribed by a taco.
Stevie, that's what you do. You get a toy badge. Well, it costs what, like $2? A bright blue shirt from like Salvation Army or something, a little hat or whatever, and there you go, free food for the week.
But it has to be a legit taco. You try to give me that Taco Bell taco shit, no, you're gonna get arrested.
Well, is that the only taco joint in West Virginia? That's like
there's a lot of Mexican restaurants around here. I'd rather go there any day than Taco Bell's bullshit, man. Don't ever go there.
You don't even need to just grab one of those and then just shove it in someone's face.
Yeah, what was the badge with the rabbit?
That's from the cartoon
Zootopia. That's
Zootopia.
That's the one to have.
Mm-hmm. Well, but I mean, even if you go to this website and you type in FBI badge, I don't think the FBI have badges, do they? They have just cards. And if you grab one of these bad boys, whack your face on one of them, how many people are going to sit there and go, well, give me a really good look because I know what an FBI badge looks like? You know what I mean? They're just going to go, oh, fuck.
That's
shit.
true. If somebody just flashed a badge in my face, I would probably assume it was legit if it looked, at least if it wasn't made out of plastic.
You can get these made up and sewn onto a jacket, and then you probably don't want the skimpy looking ones, although I'd like a chick that would wear one of those. Hoo-ha.
Oh yeah, that's very authentic. I mean, the way to get out of a ticket on Long Island, there's two ways. Number one, if you are a relative of a legitimate police officer, you get what's called a little mini badge, and you put that inside your wallet. My wife got out of a ticket once on that. Or you wear your postal uniform. They generally don't, they don't give you a hard time on Long Island.
Oh, that's a big difference is what uniform you're wearing. If you're wearing security or scrubs, like, hospital scrubs, they'll usually give you a pass because they work very closely with people that work in the hospital. So if they put, I've had that happen to me before, and it just so happened, like, I was like, oh, well, I dropped somebody's name just on an off chance, and they were a paramedic, and they're like, oh, I know that guy. All right, you're cool. We'll let you go.
Or I'll tell them I'm pregnant. That generally doesn't work for me. That might have worked for you.
Well, Lord these days knows I could pass for it, so I might try that one.
So in Victoria, we have it's called the Victorian Blue Ribbon Foundation. It helps families of police officers who have died or whatever, and not that there's many of them, but but they have these blue ribbons. Hang on, just let me share. I'm not sharing at the moment. So they create these into stickers, and people put them on their cars as if to say you have to like donate to the foundation to get one of these stickers. And people put those stickers on their car to say, hey, look, I support your Blue Ribbon Foundation, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
When I lived in the Chicago area, they had one too. It was like $100 or $150 to buy the sticker. You put it on your car, and basically you put that sticker on. You didn't get any tickets if you kept it reasonable. So like if you're going 100 in a 55 downtown,
no, they're gonna pop you.
No, you're probably okay. If you're going 110, they would have got you.
You gave him money.
Jesus.
Like that buys you some leeway. Like I know a lot of people do that. Even like those Christian fish stickers, those are good to put on your car because they see that and they're like, oh well, you know, it's just some, you know, church lady or man or whatever. So like but that sticker that says that you donated to the police, that is your get out of jail free card.
I swear to God, I thought you were saying Christian fish sticks. I'm like, what, Jesus go to like John Silver's or something? I know that right after 9/11, there was like some kind of identification or a sticker for the family of someone who passed in 9/11, and a couple of years passed, and there was someone that I delivered mail to, and her husband passed away due to a disease. He was a police officer. And I literally heard people say, oh, well, you know, he just died of natural causes. He didn't die in 9/11. That's different. I'm like, what the fuck, man? You know, Dad is dead. And he went through, a lot of issues, and the family went through a lot of cost issues. And I was shocked. I was stunned. I was like, police officers are supposed to have it made with health benefits. But nah, he didn't die on 9/11.
I was in toxicology, part of my grad school, and we talked about that. And I wouldn't rule out any deaths in the first 10 years as not being related to 9/11 because of just the lung damage they had from being in the area.
Yeah, he had cancer. So who knows? I don't know how many survivors from 9/11 there still are that had serious CPD issues, breathing issues, and all that. I know that there have been major lobbying for the rights of those people to get adequate care. And I mean, to have Jon Stewart freaking get up and go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I mean, a lot of things are not that obvious to people.
Right.
This was a class on industrial toxicology, which is accidents we typically do in factories to kill people, but they apply in the real world too.
Right.
Like there was a lot of galvanized steel studs used in the building.
Okay.
When you heat up galvanized steel, it gives off zinc vapor.
Okay.
Does all kinds of nerve damage. So people can have all kinds of nerve and brain disorders from it, and not connect that with what happened in it. You don't know, because right now we're in such a toxic soup of everything, but you can't rule out that it was 9/11.
Right. Now, I have a question for you in regards to something that we in the Postal Service we have had so many talks about. They are shipping lithium batteries, and the larger lithium batteries, like about this size, in the flat rate boxes. How many shipped together would cause a danger in terms of flammability or anything?
It's more what they're beside.
Okay.
But one gets punctured, could be bad. Now, you probably aren't going to have a puncture. You could have a crushing thing. Yeah. Now, do you unload anything from an aircraft? Those little round things that go in an aircraft?
Yes.
And then, now, if one of those were to tip over and hit a lithium, you first of all, you do not want to be in the room until after some wind is blown through. Even if there's no major fire in the rest of the building, as it's spitting fire, you don't want to breathe that.
We've had a couple of situations with gas, but we had one situation where one of the lithium batteries fell down a chute and was punctured, and the building had to be evacuated. We had another fire situation where peat moss was put on a conveyor belt, and apparently the friction caught that on fire. So, it happens every once in a while. Unfortunately, no marijuana is caught on fire. unfortunately. But yeah, I was just curious because I know back about, I'd say 6 years ago, there was a plane that went down because lithium batteries were next to something and it caused an explosion, supposedly.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Well, also, I mean, there was another one with oxygen that if there had been lithium near them and it went off, it would have triggered the oxygen. So, do you have host?
Do I have host? Maybe. Do I? Who has host?
He's in. Somebody did. Evan's probably just grabbing a snack.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
Your camera's not working.
Yeah, I have it off. I'm not messing with it. I'm trying to
get why did you tell him that? I don't want to look at him.
Normally he's got...
I never force you to do that, Dave.
The dancing and kaleidoscope up.
I figured he'd have, the smiling...
I've got going on.
The smiling Jink fun mirror one.
The Wolfpack Patreon link.
Yeah. So did you hear that Justice Democrats are running a pimp from Las Vegas?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Justice Democrats running a pimp from Las Vegas for Republican state assembly.
What are they running from Las Vegas? I'm sorry.
Hold on. There's a pimp.
Stork's screwing around back there. I can't quite hear you.
There's a link up. There's a link up from 1202. If you see it, there's a pimp. There's an actual pimp that's running for state assembly. He's got the Republican nomination.
He's from Nye, Nevada, dude. Like Nye County and like Crystal, Nevada, and that whole area. Like if I had the cam going, for once, there's a good reason to have it. I've hiked that whole area, like along Death Valley and all that.
Yeah,
it's crazy out there. I didn't know that one guy owned like 30 brothels or something. It's some crazy amount.
He has like an HBO show called Cat House or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I've seen, he probably, like along that strip, he probably owned 2 or 3 out of every one that I saw.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. Politician being in charge of a bunch of whores, it's like, but what'd you do as soon as you came in? I'm like, I mean, see, this is why I'm an independent outsider, you little bastard.
Well, it's crazy. Like, I don't know really what to think of that, man. Like, you go into some of those places and it's like there's a bunch of women that don't speak English, like tons of them. Like more than half the women working there by far are from Southeast Asia in a lot of these places. And they don't speak English and they're trapped way out in the middle of the desert somewhere. The laws in Nevada are such that if you're a prostitute, you can't drive yourself to and from work. So that's off the table if you even qualify for a license. And I don't know, man.
Well,
it's shady. It's shady. And if this dude's running all that shit out there, like, it's not like I'm some kind of moralist, but damn.
It's actually a really good point that, all these people who are worried about human trafficking, think about how many of those women were probably trafficked.
Or under dubious circumstances.
Yeah, or under duress or dubious circumstances.
And they're trapped out there, man. I'm telling you, like it's 150. Crystal is 120 something miles out of Vegas, and then you got to go all the way up to Tonopah or something before you see another real town, and that's another 200 miles or something. Or you can cross Death Valley, and to the right of you, you can cross Dreamland and the Nevada testing site, where most of the nukes that we've tested have been set off. So there's really no way out of there.
Well, just build a wall. That'll make everything. That'll make everything better. But
that he's running with the Justice Democrats, you say?
no, I'm just playing with the Justice Democrats crap. But he's running as a
Republican.
Yeah.
Yeah, some strange things could come in the mail. You see something like this. It looks almost like a makeup thing, or maybe a tube of putty or something.
Did it come like that, or was it in like a little?
It had a cap that looked just like it on the top.
Yeah,
and it was in a soft mailer.
Right.
And it was mailed from China, and it took like so long to get here. I forgot that I ordered it. And inside there was something to space it from touching the sides. It's aluminum, and inside it is the strongest class of neodymium you could get. And I could just see something like this causing all kinds of troubles.
So why would that be?
Well, it tends to grab things, pull things.
Is it magnetic?
Yeah, like this little bit here on the corner. There's a little piece.
Well, what's the container made out of?
Aluminum.
So is it strong enough to where if it fell down a metal chute, it would actually get stuck?
Yeah, or if. So these two little ones, they gave two little ones for free, because I think what happened was in the factory that somewhere in the room there was these two. And this will grab them from a distance and pull them in. But
you cause a lot of chaos. Those magnets, they cause a lot of chaos, because what they do is they just stick and they clog up there's an electronic eye, and when that eye is blocked, nothing else can fall down and everything rejects. So thanks a lot, Snork.
So are you concerned? Are you concerned about having that next to your electronics?
No.
If you just set it like carelessly aside, or?
Oh, I'm careful where to put it, because I don't put it near metal. It's like 100 pounds worth of pull.
Jesus.
So I have plastic areas that I can set things without having it go fly across the room.
So if you put that next to Magneto, would you be able to? Oh, never mind.
I had 5 of this class by this machine, and when a part was not correct, if it was off by 1/10 of a millimeter, there was like an event horizon. If it was more than a 1/10 of a millimeter away, it didn't see these things flying by at like 60 miles an hour. If it was incorrect, something was wrong with it where it didn't fly on that path, this thing would just suck it right up.
One of the greatest, like, simple pleasures, like really simple pleasures in life I found is just playing with the event horizon magnets. When you're just sitting around and like just trying to keep them apart and see like how close you can get them. I used to do that all the time when I was a kid. Like some kids twirled pencils or whatever. That's what I would do when there were magnets around.
Oh. I probably have too many around here. I'll use them to hold things.
Well, there's a DPRK update. Like there were some things that I wasn't aware of when I was ranting about DPRK last night. Like last week, Kim Jong-un actually sat down with Lavrov in Russia, and they came to some sort of agreement. There wasn't really a lot of press on it, but I wasn't aware of that. They had sat down and discussed something, and then yesterday, like a few hours before the stream, Russia just straight up came out and said, we support like what's going on here. So that's the third piece of the pie, which you know, erases a lot of the skepticism that I had. I think this might go forward, and this might not be some kind of, you know, let's screw North Korea over kind of deal. I mean, that is what it will be, because now that the three powers are united, they'll figure out the best ways to exploit North Korea once it begins opening up. I mean, let's not forget that North Korea has, you know, a lot of untouched valuable resources and a cheap labor pool. So, yeah, I mean, they have clear reasons for going forward with this deal, and all three relevant parties are on board. So it's actually looking all right.
In this case, maybe Russia intervened.
In what sense?
Maybe they helped get the
ball rolling initially?
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, ultimately, like, that's China is going to listen to Russia. That's never really changed. I mean, it is kind of changing now a bit, but there's still that kind of relationship going on strategically. Okay.
Well, I think
they're still under the umbrella.
Still viewed as another voice to be at least considered. They're another world power, major world power, and I think when they call and say, please intervene, I think it would happen.
Yeah. Like, so we have, you know, I mean, China, like, their strategic ICBM capability, while exceeding most nations, is still nothing compared to Russia or you. So they're under that umbrella. That could have been how it started. I mean, but then we have what happened with what's his name, Republic of South Korea president. What's his name?
You know, I don't remember.
Well, he kind of kicked it off with getting the U.S. involved, like, and I'm sure that we kind of pushed him to go forward before Trump and sit down and have a talk. So I don't know. It's looking good. I think that it really is an important step. This has been something that I've been paying attention to for a long time, and to see it develop like this, even if we plan to turn North Korea into some sort of Saipan, at least like it's a step forward.
I just don't think we should shoot until we've talked. I just think anything we can do reasonable means we think about it before we do any other actions.
Where did Dave go? It's like he just jetted out.
Yeah, he might have had to go, or he might be back. Oh, he's changed his name. Okay.
Is that what's going on?
Could be. I didn't notice that before.
I'm a bit distracted while I'm trying to chat here. So, but it's like I said, yeah, it's a good step forward. I mean, these war games, I mean, they've been a huge cause of North Korea's issues with the U.S. And the fact that we killed like 30 something % of their population.
Yeah. And our recent rhetoric. I'm not saying that they didn't do anything. Just recent. I'm not saying that they didn't do anything wrong either. But escalation is escalation. Geez, maybe it's better. I don't know. We use whatever means we can to avoid a war without building up another devastating disaster. And I think other people have more information on it than I do.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can say that about just about anything.
Yeah, yeah.
More people have. Yeah, well, you can only guess. I've been following it. Like, I want to see the North Korean people, man. They've been abused and abused and abused. And maybe this will stop some of that. Like, at least open up the possibility of stopping some of it. I mean, sure, they'll go into industrial slavery, some of them. But is that better or worse than the conditions that they're living in now?
Well, this is going to be like any other thing. They're coming out of a bad situation. Nobody can transit from a bad situation to any other situation without some lingering issues. So just as we have to recover from a death, in the family or whatever, you need to recover from the transition like that. It was really rough after the Soviet Union fell down. I ended up working with a lot of former Soviet scientists who couldn't get any work over there and had to emigrate to the United States. They had a lot to say about the collapse, but situation was really bad over there for a long time because there was no structure in place for people to get wages to buy anything.
You're talking in former Soviet Union, right?
Former Soviet Union, yeah, when it collapsed. And then the collapse of the satellite nations wasn't too different from that time.
Exactly.
So there was just this huge region that what they had to do to fight and resist to get out. They had a lot of misinformation spewed at them from both sides, and a lot of people that were pulling as soon as the collapse ran in and really took advantage of people. So the next day or next few days after the Berlin Wall collapsed, and they decided that it was going to be part of Germany again, there was these people that would get in cars, drive to East Germany, and look at their property. And part of the agreement was they get their property back. So even people that lived in their house for 50 years or whatever lost it back to the original owners, whoever had was an heir basically to that title. And so the people were being left without places to live. Means right now you have some ability probably to at least have a yard sale to raise some money, but when nobody else has money to buy your stuff, you can't even sell it.
Yeah, it was a lack of leadership. I mean, not only did you have a political and economic collapse, there was a complete vacuum of leadership. And they tried to prop up Yeltsin. I mean, how did that work out? So instead, they went with what seems to me a different sort of model. They began to prop up fiefdoms of sorts. That actually, even though it was very chaotic, I mean, if Russia remained for the most part whole, they lost their satellite nations. So it worked in a sense, is what I'm saying. And I think originally Putin was one of those fiefdoms, even though he had his own, he had his own interests long before then. But originally he started out, I think, with a lot of backing from the U.S. as a replacement to Yeltsin. You're muted, by the way.
I remember going to lunch with one of their scientists after he came over here. He was a PhD chemist, and to be able to find one off, that had his background and experience was pretty phenomenal. And So we put him to use, and all of the engineers would go to lunch together, and he was with the engineering group, so we'd take him to lunch with us, and we'd go to something like a Ruby Tuesday or something, and he would bring a sack lunch. We were paying him well. He at this point, just a few weeks of paychecks, he was back on track. But he still didn't get the concept of you don't bring something into a restaurant and start eating it in there. So, there was just all these things to go. And we had so many technologies that we learned from them after the collapse.
I mean, it seems like there was another brain drain.
Oh yeah, we sucked up as many as we could, and other countries did too. But yeah, in the fields of glass and in biology, they had a lot of stuff that was not antiquated. So, a lot of that stuff is still mothballed over there. Not even mothballed. It just sat where it was the last minute when they found out everything was done.
Yeah, and it's disappeared off an inventory sheet. I mean, we just don't know what's missing. And I think that's a big reason behind a lot of U.S. paranoia. It's not only about empire building, okay? And it's not only about population control and monitoring. There's a genuine reason, I think, why they are so paranoid.
Yeah.
They don't know what's missing.
Yeah. Like the Burin is just in a hangar, and nobody works there anymore. The Burin is their copy of the space shuttle, and it was like made from stolen plans from our space shuttle. So very little, only what they couldn't get in the Soviet Union at that time was changed. So they had to make it adapted to their motors instead of ours and stuff like that. But the main parts of the space shuttle, the tiles, everything like that, they were all copies of our space shuttle.
It's difficult to say. Difficult to say, like, what happens when you don't pay a soldier, right?
Yeah.
When you don't pay the guards for 6 months, who knows? Stuff just seems to disappear off of inventory sheets. There's trucks coming and going openly from military facilities.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the people that handled the stuff knew what the valuable stuff was to take, and knew what they needed to take with them to get out of the country.
And they did it quickly. That's why there were some blatant examples of, like I was alluding to, just trucks, unknown trucks coming in and out of these facilities. Like a caravan of them, and then pulling them away. I mean, it's hard to tell. Maybe that was, the official report, of course, is that they were relocating equipment and it was the military doing it. But there's no way of telling that.
Yeah. Well, I probably better get to bed. Like says, I do need to get this project going.
All right. Have a good night.
But I appreciate a little bit a chance to blow off some steam. Thanks.
Yep. See ya.
Shirley. I'll hang out with you, Shirley. If Shirley wants to talk, maybe. How do I?
Is that Ryan?
That sure is Ryan.
Hey, my brother from down under.
Hey, Shirley, Philly Queen. How you doing?
Garden left too?
Yeah.
Dad.
There we go.
I was thinking, did you watch Staying Progressive?
No, I haven't. I don't really watch her.
Yeah, well, everybody call it conspiracy theories. Some stuff I don't agree with her with. But when she was talking about the California fires last year, she did a video, I think yesterday or the day before. And because when she was showing the video, and I saw it on the news too, you saw the fire. And I'm like, well, one set of trees are on fire, but then there's more behind it, and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And now coming to find out, PSENG, Utility of California, it may be charged with that fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's ways that they can figure things out. I mean, we have tons of bushfires in Australia, and they're just forever, and they always pin it on someone. It's like, okay, fair enough, whatever. I just don't trust police anymore. I really don't. I don't. It really has to be an open and shut case, like irrefutable evidence that that person did it.
Are you talking about the Sam Ronan case?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw somebody showed the dash cam video. They were he even mentioned to someone that they was trying to stop him for switching, he kept switching lanes or something, I guess before that. And he didn't obey. When they've had the sirens and the lights on, he didn't pull over.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, when he got to where he lived at in the parking lot, he got out the car and was mouthing at him. And I'm like, if that was an African American or a Latino, they wouldn't be here no more.
Mm-hmm. They would have shut him down.
Honestly, he really wasn't a victim. He didn't obey the law. I saw him when he made that left turn. And I don't know what he did before that, but the reason why they did stop him was because he was switching lanes.
Okay, so my thing is, Shirley, is that if you watch the video before the police officer switches lanes, does a U-turn, there are 4 cars between him and Sam Ronan going the same direction as the police officer. How the police officer can see that he was switching lanes is beyond me, especially in the dark. It's bullshit. You can't see it. You don't know.
They put the lights on before he even made the left.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's a bullshit reason why they pulled him over to begin with. You can't tell me when you're in a car at night and you're driving along, right? You can see exactly what cars in the other lanes are doing, and there's cars between you and them. It's not just it's not a clear view. It's definitely not a clear view because there's 3 or 4 cars between the police officer and seeing what's happening with the traffic on that side of the road. And then you tell me if you can actually see who is driving a car when the headlights are coming at you. You can't. You can't see that. I don't care how good a police officer you are. You can't. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't hold up. So
but my thing is, they may have been filing him way before he got to that term.
Then why didn't they
cops do that?
Yeah, but the cop was going in the other direction. The cop was going in the other direction. The
only
police
thing I say is he did wrong. He put himself in danger, but he had white privilege, which they call the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. So, but I mean, he shouldn't have been pulled over to begin with. There's no
No,
evidence.
he shouldn't have, and he shouldn't have got out of his car.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, you know, if somebody's yelling at you and you haven't broken the law, then, you know, getting out of your car is not breaking the law, is it? So
no, the law is that you do African Americans, Latinos.
Oh, it's a different law for them.
Yeah.
Your hands on the steering wheel, even that doesn't count. You get shot still. I know. I understand, Shirley. I totally understand. I mean, people of different descents here, like people from Africa, people from Asia, people from the Middle East, they all get treated differently to what I would.
Right.
Okay.
But you don't go mouthing off to the police, though. You do. That's what. Oh no, they don't like that.
No, because you disrespected their authority.
Yes.
But see, Sam Ronan is ex Air Force, and he's white, so he gets to do that. You know, but my point is that if a police officer that was behind him is witnessing all of this, why didn't that police officer pull him over? Why did a police officer on the far side of the road with cars in between his view and the view of the oncoming traffic pull an immediate U-turn from the far right-hand lane and do a U-turn across a whole lane, and then drove up and didn't light up to say, okay, this is an emergency, I need to catch up to this person, give way. He didn't light him up until he turned the corner. So why didn't he light him up from the very beginning if he was doing something dangerous?
Well, I believe those cops were bored. They didn't have nothing else to do, and that's known.
Mm-hmm.
Like my husband was stopped. His tail light was out. And the cops stopped him. And then when he walked up, my husband said, "How can I help you, officer?" He said, "Oh, you sound like you have an attitude." He didn't have an attitude. He said, "Look, I just came from work. I had a hard day.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to tell you, your tail light was out." He said, "My bad. I didn't know it was out. I'll get it fixed." And he let him go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but see, it's not interesting to have someone comply and be say yes, officer, no, officer, I'll get it fixed, officer. You know, it's not an interesting day on the job. If you had someone who's bad mouthing you and all that type of stuff, then you can wail on them, you can beat them up, you can taser them, you can inflict pain and all this type of stuff. That's more exhilarating. It gets the adrenaline pumping. Stopping someone for a tail light and then have them go, "Yes, sir, no, sir, I'll get it fixed, sir," is boring to them. It's mundane. But stepping out of the car and punching someone in the face and throwing them to the ground and tasing them and all, it pumps them up. It really does.
Well, they say some of the police officers are being trained by Israeli police.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really think that's how they're acting, like they do against the Palestinians.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, if I was Sam Ronan, I would say, look, I was making sure I was in a well-lit out of the way place. I mean, the thought that you need
Where
to
they wanted, you talking about where they wanted to stop him?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. That's just like Sandra Bland.
Yeah.
That was like on a highway with just nothing else around and no one could see it.
Mm-hmm. and dare I say that apartment building will have security video of what happened as well.
Right.
You know, so it is like I understand he did take a while to stop, but it's not as if it was like he led them on a 150 mile an hour chase down a highway for 3.5 hours. You know, it was
a couple of minutes.
It wasn't even. It was about 30 seconds. From the time he lit him up to the time he parked his car, it was about 30 seconds.
I'm just so glad he was white at that time, because if that was a black person that just got out the car, then he had a bag in his hand, he was done.
Bag and a phone.
He was done.
Yeah, he was smoked. A bag and a phone he had. But he's...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. It might have been a minute and a half it took for him to get from the intersection to where he was, but it took him about 30 seconds to get out of the car.
And black folks been killed. Like this one guy in his backyard, I forgot where it was at, his backyard, and they shot and killed him because they got a report of somebody breaking the windows. But he was in his grandmother's backyard. They shot and killed him. All he had was a cell phone. They said, we thought it was a gun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oh, it's definitely a different rule for some. It's a rule for some and a different rule for others. There's no doubt. And there's no doubt that, you know, black people are thugs and criminals and rapists and drug dealers and murderers. There's just no doubt, you know. I mean, and
but it's worse today than it was back in the day. You still feared the cops because we had Rizzo as our commissioner, Frank Rizzo. He was a racist.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay.
But it wasn't much. It was crime, but it wasn't a lot of crime like it is now. I think it's with the police training.
Mm-hmm. This is the thing that frustrates me the most is you'll have people like Ben Shapiro that'll come out and say, well, if blacks didn't disproportionately represent the prison population, then, you know, obviously they commit more crime. Well, that's not true. If you're a target, if your ethnicity is a target, then your ethnic group is, no matter the population percentages, is going to be higher in prison.
Yeah,
so,
it's a new Jim Black Crow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And another thing, I hate people keep saying, well, they need people of their color in their neighborhood as cops. They worse than the white ones.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference. You got to train them to be dealing with. Look at people like they're people.
Mm-hmm. So if you target, say, poor black people, and that's all you target 24/7, 7 days a week, then that's all that's going to be arrested. That's all that's going to be convicted. That's all that's going to be. That's all that's going to be in prison. To sit here and like it frustrates me the most is when people like Ben Shapiro use those statistics as if they're proving a point that black people are inherently more violent, more dangerous, and more criminally minded. When it's
have you heard Candace Owens?
No. When it's not. I've heard of her, but I haven't. And it's I mean, you can't blame an entire race for them being disproportionately represented in the prison population, where they're the targets of the police. The police are the people who arrest people to put them in prison. So it goes to no end that if cops disproportionately went after Hispanics, disproportionately went after Asians, disproportionately went after whites, you would have the same kind of statistic data to say those people who have been targeted are disproportionately represented in the prison system. There's no other way of thinking about it. There's no, oh, blacks are more dangerous, they're criminals, they're thugs, they're gangsters. There's fucking white gangs out there just as much as there are black gangs. I mean, you just need to watch some of the TV shows out there. You know, you just have to look at the prison gangs, you know, the Aryan race, the KKK, you know, the alt-right. They're all gangs.
Well, I'm not forgetting about the government, because that's why we're still in Afghanistan guarding them poppy fields. And I'm like, well, what's this sister doing something about this heroin epidemic? And they guarding those poppy fields, and they bringing that shit right over here. And they the black community really not strung out on that heroin. It's the white community. And it was like that years ago here, still now. It was poor white folks in Kensington strung out on that stuff. They didn't care, even though the black epidemic was crack.
It's not only that; it's middle class America as well, because they're the ones that are getting sold OxyContin, fentanyl, carfentanil to deal with pain, and then doctors cut them off. So what do they turn to? They turn to heroin.
Yeah, but then they come out and make it a health crisis. But when black folks were hooked on crack, you just locked them up. Tore away families.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's a totally racist system. I mean, even I'll tell you, Australia is racist to certain points. I mean, it takes next to no care, and it does not. So America has a treaty with the indigenous people, the American government. So does the Canadian.
The who people?
With the indigenous, so Native Americans.
Yeah, well, how that's working out? Look at Dapple.
Yeah, but I mean, at least the government have identified them as being the custodians of the land, whereas our government hasn't even done that.
Really?
No, we're the only country where there's been an indigenous population that hasn't signed it, at least signed a treaty with the native, with the indigenous people.
Well, you know what? Even if they did sign a treaty, they probably still wouldn't treat them right.
Oh no, of course not.
Because they have a treaty here.
Yeah.
What Obama said, what Dapper was going on, let's wait it out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's just stupid.
This country was built on racism. It was. And they need to own up to it. I watched two people on YouTube. They white, Dixon White, and it's this woman called herself Soccer Mom. And they trying to inform white people of their privilege. But people put some nasty comments in their YouTube page. That's a darn shame. But they're right about what they're saying.
Yeah. Governments are... It's frustrating. It really is.
No one wants to really talk about race in this country. Have a serious talk.
No
country. That's why I like Jane Elliott, that white woman. You ever see her?
No.
Yeah, she's really good. She's older now, but she still go out and teach. But she said now the schools don't allow her to go teach in the school system because she said it's no such thing as race. We are human race.
Mm-hmm.
And she was going to a classroom full of white people. And she said, well, one of you going to be brown eyes, which is African American, and you're going to be blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that became blue eyed, they couldn't take it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good what she was doing because Tim Black interviewed her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, I mean, no country likes to talk about racism.
No.
No country does.
I don't know why.
Because it's a touchy subject.
But my thing is the Holocaust, the Jews got reparations for that. The slaves were promised land and a mule. But like Martin Luther King said, the other side got that stuff, but the former slaves never got anything.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is here they did what they used to do is they used to go into indigenous encampments that were set up by white people and then take away the children and put them in orphanages. And then we had that was back in like the like 1910, 20, 30, 40, 50. I think it went up to the 60s and 70s.
Well, it's still going on now from under Obama.
And it's still going on now. It really is.
But they want to blame Trump.
Yeah. So they want to blame what's her name? Shit. They want to blame someone. We've got a conservative government at the moment.
Oh.
But see, the thing is, in the 90s, late 90s, we got a new prime minister, and in the 96, and he went till 2007, and there was a ton of people calling for the Australian government to apologise to the Indigenous people who were stolen. They're called the stolen generation, who were basically taken from their homes and without any warning and put in orphanages and put in foster homes. And you know how some foster homes end up being worse than what. Anyway, so in 2007, we had an election and the Prime Minister of the time turned around and said, well, I'm going to apologize. Well, the person running against the Prime Minister said, well, as part of policy, I'm going to apologize to all the Indigenous people who were considered the stolen generation from on behalf of the Australian government. And the conservative view was, all the Indigenous people will just want to sue us, and you'll send the government bankrupt, because all the Indigenous people who are considered the stolen generation will want to sue the Australian government. He apologised, and not one person sued the government.
And what pisses me off, I just heard that Netanyahu is going into another part of a settlement where graves are historical graves, where I think whoever they worship are buried. And they want to remove the graves and make a park there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they do here. So in the 70s, that there's a big storm that went through the Northern Territory. And these archaeologists just one day happened to come across these bones that were exposed to the air. And were like, holy shit, we got to dig these up. We can't leave them there. Otherwise, they'll just disappear. So they dug them up and they tested them, and they went back like 45,000 years, something like that. And it took them over 45 years to give the bones back to the custodial owners of the land. They wouldn't give them back, and they've still got that was a male set, and they've got a female set of bones that they won't give back either. And
why?
Who knows? And the indigenous people don't want to bury the bones yet because they don't want people knowing where they had buried them, so they can't dig them up and sell them on the black market.
Well, can you blame him? That's his story.
Yeah, I know. And in indigenous Australian culture, any part of the body that hasn't been returned to the burial place of the person means the person can't be at rest. They're always, they're always there and around. They had this story about a 17-year-old who was murdered up in northern Queensland, and he welcome back, Stevie, and he was buried and all that type of stuff, and they got really upset when one of the detectives of the cold case said, "Look, we've still got a part of this man's body for forensic analysis," and his relatives lost their shit. Like, how do you not know that he needs that to be at peace for the rest of his life, and all this other type of stuff? It just shows the cultural difference between between white people and indigenous people, and how we still mistreat indigenous people and treat them as second-class citizens. So it's just so frustrating.
It's sad, very sad. It is frustrating too. Stevie back?
Yeah, she said she's back.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm here.
I don't see her on YouTube.
No, she's back. She just said something.
Yeah, I just haven't checked in on chat in a while.
So yeah, I mean, governments don't like the racism debate.
No, because I think under Clinton, he did something, if I'm not mistaken. He apologized for slavery in Congress. But I'm like, well, what is that? That you passed that damn crime bill?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he didn't even defend his own. He basically sent his own to slaughter, which is a disgrace in itself.
They deregulated everything. Now you got this AT&T and Time Warner merger. I guess I have AT&T cell phone service. I guess they're going to go to hell up more. And now Comcast is challenging Disney to get Fox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, God.
And I don't know how Megyn Kelly is still on TV on NBC. They just went so far right. They not left anymore. Because I remember her on Fox News. She was racist. She didn't like Black Lives Matter. She system.
And we can't forget that Santa Claus is white.
Oh yeah, Santa Claus is white.
Yeah, but don't forget, Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization to the right.
Oh yeah.
If you're right wing, Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization.
And you know what? I watch on YouTube some black conservatives, and they consider them a racist, not a racist group. And I'm like, what the? Y'all need to go back and look at y'all history. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
There was
That's
a lady.
Just like Clarence Thomas said, he didn't get where he was at with affirmative action. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't know. I have a lot of questions about affirmative action because, like, honestly, I feel like it's one of those things, like, I'm sure, like, it's good, but now it's like every black people or my do to affirmative action. Like y'all can't achieve something on your own without affirmative action. Like, it's like, well, oh, that's all it is. It's like, well, no, not really. A lot of people go out there and bust their asses really hard to get the shit that they get, you know?
Yeah, I don't really like affirmative action either. I would like to be hired on my job for my skills, not because the color of my race and you have a quota.
Yeah,
and a lot of the times the immigrants get to use that affirmative action too.
That's bullshit, Shell. You love having affirmative action work in your on your behalf. I mean, you live in a
mansion. Don't really work.
You live in a mansion in Philadelphia. You drive in a luxury European automobile.
Hell to the no.
That affirmative action is really helping you out, isn't it? There, sure.
You got 8 university degrees. You've got a really cool job that's paying you $250 million a year. Affirmative action is working for you.
But my thing is, the ones that's talking this from way back in the day, and they like way older than us, and say affirmative action didn't help you. Yes, it did. And it helped Thurgood Marshall too. It did. But now it's like I don't know. And if you get rid of it, then people really start discriminating.
Yeah, what was it that they had? They had a law for voting, like the Southern Poverty, I forget what it's called, but it was these states that had a system of discrimination and just racial bigotry pretty much, and they would keep an eye on them. They got rid of that, and what happened after they got rid of that? Black people started getting kicked off the voting rolls and stuff. So it's like, I feel like we've moved past it, but not so much to where it at the point where you can get rid of it yet, and it sucks because I just see so many of these like assholes that just go around saying that shit, like, oh, because of affirmative action, really, because they've got and they worked hard. It's like, I'm sure it happens, but for the most part, I really don't see like people just getting jobs just because of the color of their skin.
And I'm getting sick of hearing, oh, Trump is doing great with the economy. The stock market is rising. That shit's going to crash soon. I really believe it. And I've said, I don't know where they get the unemployment is low. You're not counting people that's not on unemployment. Those are people that are on it. You only get 26 weeks here in Philadelphia. Like, my husband was pissed. He said he did almost 30 years of his job, and when it shut down, he only got 26 weeks. I think that's like about 6 months.
How are you supposed to train for a new job in 26 weeks? I mean, like, you spend a lifetime dedicated to one service, and then now you're supposed to diversify like 26 weeks? I don't know, man.
I've been out of work for 3 years now, so I don't know where they're saying these jobs are out here. It's so great, so many people getting jobs. They gotta be low income jobs.
Of course, it's all Walmart.
I don't think they even count part-time people working. No, they don't. They don't count part-time people working.
Nope, they don't.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know they didn't count part-time people.
Oh no, they do.
They don't
They do
count
here.
part-time people. No, not here in the United States. They don't count part-time people. They're not considered unemployed.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're not.
That was under Obama.
It should be if you're not making a living wage, you should be counted as at least partially unemployed. Like
that's why when Obama was in office, I didn't believe that unemployment rate. I said it's much higher than that. They just can't. They just don't count the part-time employees, people that don't get unemployment anymore, and people that may have stopped looking or just can't get work. They don't count us. We're nobody.
Mm-hmm. I know that feeling. I know that feeling of being a nobody. That's fair. That's very much all too common, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I've been out of work 3 freaking years.
Oh, I know that one. I'm going around and I'm applying for jobs, and it's like I have to apply for McDonald's and Walmart and like all these crappy part-time minimum. It's like you have a higher education, right? Like you're what is it you do? Something to do with law, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
well, I'm graduated from high school, but I don't have no degree.
Find a job, but go ahead.
But my aunt always taught me learn how to type. She taught her and my daughters that. Now I learned how to type, and when you go to school and learn the business part of it, it was easy to get jobs back then. You can leave one law firm and get a job somewhere else. It's not like that no more.
No, it's not. I mean, like I've got a certification in transcription, coding, medical information. I've had college experience, and it's like none of that matters. None of that is doing me a lick of good right now. Like it's not getting me an extra $1 or $2 an hour. I'm still having to apply for jobs that like I never ever trained for, and those are my options now. Those are my options now.
They're not the only ones, Stevie.
A McDonald's worker with technical college and with community college. I still stuck in an $8 an hour job. It's bullshit.
Because you're not the only one, Stevie.
Wage. I don't deserve to pay my rent. I don't deserve to have utilities or food or health care because fuck me, I'm going to work at McDonald's, right? Like, it's such bullshit.
I went from making $20 an hour to I'm applying for jobs that's 10, 11, 12, and I still don't hear anything.
Yep. That's what I was applying at transcription jobs, $18, $20 an hour. Now I'm just like begging for a McDonald's job. What the hell? What is this? I mean, like people like this is like, if that's what you want to do, that's cool. But like, there's people out there. It's like, I'm not being utilized to the best of my ability. People like you're not being utilized to the best of your ability. Like all the smarts, everything that you've all the experience that you've gained over the years, nobody's using that. And it's like, why are we letting these like good minds go to waste? We need thinkers. We need people that to get in these jobs, but nobody's hiring for these jobs. It's insane.
They have a position you apply for, thinking you hear. Well, at least some respond back to say, "Well, you're not our fit. We go on with someone else." But the majority of the time, they don't respond.
No. Nope.
And my husband's like, "Well, sure, you had to. I don't care if you don't ever work again." But I said, "I gotta work. I'm not used to sitting home. I'm used to getting up every morning, getting dressed, getting myself ready, and getting the hell out of here. I don't like being home. I don't. I love my home, but I would like to be working. I even applied for factory jobs. And my husband was on Boulevard, and I worked in the factory, and that part getting into shipments for different toys and different things. But I had fun. I got along with the other employees. We had a ball, but then they shut it down. And that was back in I went there right after high school and worked. I think a lot of people here in Philadelphia worked at Sears. It was a huge building.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, I need to get going soon anyway because I got another day of unsuccessful applications. I guess I got to put in. So
yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go too.
All right, night, y'all.
Good night. Good night, Shirley. Good night, Stevie. Love you long time.
Love you too.